Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we are looking at the Marvel Legends Amazon exclusive 4-pack Black Widow, which is obviously the Age of Ultron Black Widow with the blue neon lighting throughout her suit and a couple of different things throughout. So let's take a look. First of all, differences include her batons. She now has these batons which have this neon blue paintwork on them, which is pretty well done. I'm alright with that. Problem is, she still only has these trigger finger hands, so she can just barely hold them. That hand's okay. This hand is a lot looser, but you can kind of get them to stay in there, so it'll do. It's not the best situation, but they are okay, so I guess I'm okay with that. Other differences include, not the head. The head is actually the same head as this one. Not nearly as well painted. As you can see, this one has a fairly nice likeness to Scarlett Johansson. This one has a much more, let's say, amateurish paint job. Doesn't have any of the lifelike qualities that this one has. So, not nearly as good of a paint job for the face. Same sculpt though. Same upper body, same arms. This is actually the Maria Hill middle body. So that's interesting. I'm not sure, well actually I am sure why they did that. The original Black Widow had a belt up here. This one did not, so they just used this body, which is okay as far as movie likeness goes. It's just that when they swapped this upper body onto this middle body, we lost basically all of the articulation. This doesn't want to move at all. It looks okay, it just doesn't want to move. And then we have the same legs. It's just that from the hips to the crotch area, this is all Maria Hill, and then the legs are back to being Black Widow. So it's okay. It's an acceptable kit bash, I guess you could say. And it does look good because the paint job for the blue line work is really nicely done. It works out perfectly. And then they did put the elbow pads and knee pads on there, even though they're just paint. So they're painted neon blue, and then they have the airbrushed effect to make them look like they're glowing. Same thing for the knees. I mean, it does look a little cheap not having it sculpted, but they still look good for the most part. And they added the red panel into the wrists. And they did a nice job painting the silver lines on her little zapper thingies. The belt, unfortunately, is the exact same belt as this one, just with the Black Widow logo painted over it. Luckily, it's painted well enough that you kind of don't notice that it's the wrong belt buckle, so it'll do. The zipper is actually not a zipper on the body since it's the Maria Hill body, but it looks okay. Again, they did a good enough job that I'm okay with it. Articulation wise, we have the fixed head, no hinge in there, but it actually looks up and down pretty well and can move around, so that's okay. We have the full range of motion for the shoulders. Also want to point out we have a little bit of red up there also for the paint job, so that's kind of cool. Full range of motion for the shoulders. No bicep swivel. We get that down here in the elbow, which is, I guess, acceptable. And then the wrists have a swivel and no hinge. No hinge in this wrists. In these wrists. Just the ball. Wow, I can't say the right stuff at all. Just the peg. So no wrist articulation. We already talked about this. Basically no articulation there. The hips go pretty far forward, so that's okay by me. They do go back a little bit. They go out almost not at all. So that's, I wish they would just go back to the standard ball hinges, but they do look okay. We do have our thigh swivel, which is alright. Double jointed knees, which work just fine. And then lastly, we have our ankle hinge, which works really well, and our ankle rocker, which is okay. It's just that they put the peg straight down due to the sculpt of the foot, so the ankle rocker basically doesn't do anything. Still though, it's a nice look for Black Widow. I would suggest giving the heads a little old switcheroo if you have a spare one. The skin tones aren't quite right, but the paint job is much better, so I would do that if I was you, because this head just doesn't look all that good. Still a good figure though, and the fact that she does come with these extra accessories, which aren't the best, but they still exist, so that's a bonus, makes me say that it's worth picking up. It's a nice look, and it's a decent figure. They did a pretty good job. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see my upcoming figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.